welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of every recipient of the Medal of Honor. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor Podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and before we get into today's episode, which is number 366, I'd like to mention that I have no birthdays to go over today, but I have one item of business that I'd like you to check out for me, if you please. As most of you know, I recently redesigned the podcast logo and artwork, so I decided to do another run of t-shirts and other merch. I am not going to do what I did last time and have an inventory of clothing sitting in my closet. I am going to be using a service called Teespring. I've used them in the past and have had very good luck with them as a consumer, so this will be my first dive into using them as a seller, but I can speak to the quality of the clothing that we'll be getting. I'll have a link in the show notes as well as there is a link over on the website. Over there you'll find 2 different tri-blend t-shirts, a die-cut sticker, a coffee mug or tea, whatever it is that you drink that you'd like to put in a mug, and a premium hoodie. There are different color options available and is a good way for you to fly the flag and tell others about the podcast, all while looking decent in public because, as we know, t-shirts are kind of required. That's all I have for today, so please do me a favor and check those out. And that's all for today. We'll right into today's Tale of Honor. Willis was born in September of 1866 in Mount Carmel, Connecticut, and he enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1898. He was a private with Company H, 1st North Dakota Volunteer Infantry, when he deployed to the Philippines, and it was his actions with Young's Scouts that would earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "With 11 other scouts, without waiting for the supporting battalion to aid them or to get into a position to do so, charged over a distance of about 150 yards and completely routed about 300 of the enemy who were in line and in a position that could only be carried by a frontal attack." Willis would reach the rank of wagoner, and he received the Medal of Honor from President Roosevelt on the 16th of February, 1906. Willis H Downs died on the 15th of September, 1929, and he is buried in the Highland Home Cemetery in Jamestown, North Dakota, GAR section. And that was a tale of honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor Podcast. Head on over to talesofhonorpodcast.com where you can read these stories, see other ways to support the show, and easily share a story with your friends and family. Tales of Honor Podcast is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme song, A New Beginning, is by Ben Sound. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrosch. Thanks for listening.